some of you had asked how to keep us ourselves updated with materials and where do I find information on materials? Arkihive is the base for that. So we aspire and we hope to be a go-to source for all information on material and architectural design. So we are we are headlining a series of talk events like design talks and architectural ideologies and concepts like this. Keep yourself noted on our social media. Follow us so you'll be getting updates on these events. We'll go ahead with the event now. So here, today we are gathered to talk about carpets. So what will we be covering here in this session? So carpets are one of the very easily used design element that can highlight your space. Today we'll be talking about carpet styling, the selection process, the types of carpet materials that are there in the market, and we also have a market expert with us. I'll be your moderator and speaker, Anusha. We have a keynote speaker, Samruddhi. She'll be taking you through in detail of carpet selection and the design process. Then we have Gurkirat, who is an expert in carpet and furnishing industry. He's been in the industry for over 10 years. He's helped designers get the perfect finish for their projects. He's also helped clueless homeowners to select carpets for their houses. So he'll be here through and through to give us practical reasons on how you can go through the process. So over to you, Samruddhi.
Hello guys, welcome you all here. I'm Samruddhi, your keynote speaker for the session. And without wasting any time, let's go on to our topic for today, that is carpets. India is into carpet weaving since the 16th century, and today we are one of the largest producers and exporters of carpet. To be precise, we are big in market in terms of handloom carpets. Carpet industry is one of the finest examples of how a domestic industry practiced at home can be transformed into a completely full-grown mechanized industry. And in terms of value and volume, we are a really big in market. Let's move to what it exactly means. What is the definition of carpet? Here you see the structure of carpet is quite interesting. It is made up of two layers, the upper layer of pile and the supportive layer is called as backing. And when we come to uses of carpets, the basic purpose of carpets is for warmth. Apart from that, it is used for comfort. It is used for adding a definition by adding some color to your room. It is also used for sound absorption and sound reduction. Also, it adds as a decorative element to your room. Next, we move on to how we going to differentiate, like how we're going to study this carpets for today. We have categorized it into three things: materials, purpose, and styling. Moving on. Okay, materials. Our first material for today is synthetic carpets. These are machine made, which obviously means the quality check is going to be done quite precisely. And the reason we prefer these carpets are because of its unmatched variety, its easy cleaning process, stain resistant quality, and resistant to abrasion and mold, etc. Now, if you see the background of this slide, it makes us understand what synthetic carpet will, or the materials in synthetic carpet will look like. You need to just observe the background here. Why we prefer it is again because of the stain resistant property. It is very easy cleaning and it is very thin. If you compare to the natural materials, it is quite easy to handle. Moving on to the uses and applications of synthetic carpets. These carpets can be used in high traffic areas. Basically, high traffic is where the footfall is more. Now, for example, if you have to consider the high traffic areas in at your home, those will be your family room, your living room, your dining areas. All these can have synthetic carpets because it can be roughly used and it will not get spoiled at all. These are quite budget friendly options. If you see at the left hand corner, this last picture, there are all the textures that you get in synthetic carpets. Not to forget, this synthetic carpet occupies 97% of the carpet market and it is a very good alternative today. Moving on to our next type of carpet, we're talking about tiled carpets. Now, these carpets are very interesting. They come in, they are also called as modular carpets, and they are square cut from wall to wall. Now, the main reason why these carpets were so famous and are used so widely is because of the easy replacement and installation. For example, now consider an area like a kindergarten or maybe a basement where the carpet can be spoiled quite easily. There can be water leaks, there can be kids around doing some staining on the carpets and all. So you don't have to entirely replace the carpet. You can actually replace a single tile of the carpet and replace it with a new tile. So that is the main benefit of this tiled carpet. Apart from it, we prefer it for ease of installation, cost effectiveness, durability, and of course, it is going to be sustainable and eco-friendly option because homeowners can themselves use these, like themselves replace and reinstall this. Moving on to the applications of tiled carpets. Here you see with tiled carpets, what you can do is you can create some interesting forms. So this is a very good option in gyms, game rooms, where you have to, create these collages and all. So this is a very good option here. Secondly, if you see the last picture, it need not be square. Tiled carpets need not be square. It can be in various shapes and it can still be that cost effective and that sustainable. So there you go with some examples here. Next, viscose carpet. We are talking about viscose carpet now. And if you see the background here in this slide, the first thing you notice is it feels very elegant. It feels like you are in a luxurious space. Having a carpet like viscose is going to make you feel you are in a very classic environment. This is because of its silk-like properties. It has a very smooth finish. It is good isolator and it does look costly, but it is quite low cost compared to natural materials that are available. And this carpet is generally used for decorative purposes. You do not use these carpets where there is going to be high footfall because these carpets are a little high maintenance. You don't want to, you don't want kids to play around this carpet or you don't want any heavy activity to be done on this carpet. So it is generally used in your den rooms, your family rooms, or maybe your very personal space like a library or your sit out area where you just want to keep it to yourself. So this carpet would be a great option there. So our last two types of carpets are something that is very close to the Indian market, that is hand knotted and hand looms. Now, the basic difference between these two carpets is going to be hand knotted is something completely done with hands. The knots are actually done with hands. And when it comes to hand looms, I will be explaining that after this. Let's talk about hand knots for now. A hand knotted carpet is one of a kind that is woven completely by hand, made from natural materials such as wool, silk, and cotton. And why we prefer this is because, firstly, because it is durable and because of its flexible use, they do not decay at all because they do not have any chemical or any toxins in it. So they are a very good eco-friendly options here. Mentioning about the applications, they are ideal for high traffic due to its thickness. Also, areas like family lounge or entrance way, you can decorate these carpets and they really look very beautiful. Talking about the value of these carpets, the more the knots, the more the value of these carpets. That is how it is calculated. Our next and our last type in materials is hand looms. Now, I spoke about the basic difference here is these are also made by hand, but not exactly. These are made by human power. So looms are operated by human power. That is the basic difference. And materials like cotton, silk, wool, and jute are used. Why we prefer this is again ease of maintenance installation, can be used for heavy traffic, are durable and has variety of designs in it. You see they give like a very elegant ambience but with simplicity. Like it does look really elegant but it also gives you a very fresh and simple look. So and also they're very ideal for heavy traffic. They fit extremely well with both casual as well as formal spaces depending on the interiors. So also they are great options for pets and babies in winter because they give you good warmth. That was about hand looms. Next, we move on to is purpose. How are different carpets used differently? What is the purpose of carpet in living room, dining, kitchen, all of that? Okay, now let's consider an example that I have to buy a carpet for my living room. Okay, and let's address all these questions so you guys have a better idea of what are the key considerations you should have. Our first question is where it is going to be used. Now, like I mentioned, I want to place this carpet in my living room. Next question is where it is going to be used. This carpet is used for a residential purpose. Next, where exactly I want to place it in my living room. We have our answers to first two questions. Next is need of the carpet. What is the need? Now, generally in living rooms, we have our family get togethers, we have our friends coming over, we have these casual meetings, we will have to sit with our family and just discuss something. So the need is going to be very flexible, and that is where we address the need of the carpet. Next, how it is going to be used. It is going to be used roughly. Sometimes if your dining space is really small where you can occupy maybe 3 or 4 people, you might move your plan to moving into living room, and you want to sit there and eat and watch TV and do all of that. So it is going to be used roughly. We might eat, watch TV, play some games and all of that. Next question is, who are the end users? Now, since we already addressed that we are going to have all kinds of people in that room, that is going to be like a common room. So our end users are going to be people from all age groups. So we don't have a specific person using that. Next, is it exposed to sunlight? Not really, since it is going to be a carpet in my living room. It is going to be very much in the center of the space and not exposed to extreme temperatures or sunlight. And last question you need to ask yourself is, how often is the cleaning possible? Like with your busy schedules and everything, how much time can you dedicate to that piece of art in your living room? This should be your key considerations before actually going and buying a carpet. Next, we have taken an example of a 2 BHK residential plan where we have all kinds of rooms, and now we are going to address how, if we have to place a carpet in each of these rooms, what should be your priority? Okay, starting with the entrance door mat. Now this mat is going to be used by everybody is going to enter your space, place their footwear, and then move on. So first thing that comes to my mind is it has to be really sturdy. You don't want somebody to enter the house and slip. So you want it to be sturdy. You need it to be very easily washable, because your footwear will obviously have some dirt, and that dirt is tend to transfer on the carpet, on the mat. So you want it to be extremely sturdy, washable. It has to be appealing also, because that is the first thing you're going to notice when you enter somebody's house. Also, now what materials can be used for entrance door mats are, it can be natural coir or jute or something like that. So there we cover entrance door mats. Moving on to our living room. We discussed in the previous slide living room, the function of living room. So all members, all your friends, everybody is going to come here. So again, this has to be very appealing. Everybody should feel very welcoming in your house. It has to be sturdy, it has to be durable. Also better if it is in little darker use, because it is going to be roughly used. Prefer to go in some darker shades. Also it has to withstand rough use. Like if you are watching TV, your kids might be just playing on the carpet, so it has to withstand rough use. Next, moving on to our dining space. Now carpeting on dining space, much obvious that you're going to have some food spills. You're going to have somebody dropping water on it and everything. So your first thing should be, you're not going to really invest a lot for carpets in dining. You want to go for some good materials which are cheap but will be stain resistant and easily washable and all of that. You can use darker, lighter use, not a problem, but it needs to sustain your stains. It has to resist your stains, and it has to be easily washable. We are talking about kitchen carpeting. Now, this is not a very familiar option in a country like India, but yes, there are a few houses that do this, and there in abroad, this is a very common practice to have carpeting in kitchen. The main reason I see why you would want to have a carpet in kitchen is to firstly relieve some like stress relieving for the person who's going to be continuously standing and cooking there. He's going to be he or she is going to be continuously standing, so you want to just give him some kind of relaxing thing down there, and that is why you place a carpet. Okay. Secondly, the purpose of carpeting in kitchen is to sustain sound also, like absorb sound, because somebody might just drop a glass, somebody might drop utensils. You don't want that loud sound disturbing you. So that is why carpets are placed in kitchen. Also, it should be stain and waterproof. and that is how you will, you can maintain and reuse it again and again. The next area we are covering is a bedroom. Now, bedroom is something that is going to be a very personal space to you. So when you select a carpet in your bedroom, it has to go in tune with your own personal taste. Because every day you want to go there, you want to just relax yourself and sleep and wake up in that same fresh vibe. So you want to be very selective when you go to selecting a carpet for bedroom. It has to be soft, cozy, welcoming. Materials like cotton, nylon, or wool could be a great option for bedroom carpeting. And I'm talking about soft scapes here. Now, if you consider the furniture in your bedroom, it is going to be your cupboards, it is going to be your beds, it might be a TV unit. I think that's it, and max to max some side tables and all of that. So if you actually realize, it is going to be all wood and like a very rigid climate. So these carpets can actually act like a soft scape for you and give you that relaxing feel that you want when you go to sleep. Okay. Next, we're talking about bathroom. The carpets that are outside our bathrooms, but obvious they need to be very water absorbing, soft. They should stand regular washing, and they need to be quick drying. They can't be wet, because every time some other person is going to be using the bathroom, they might not really like that feel of that wet carpet. They want to dry their feet, which is why that is the whole purpose you want to place the carpet, right? So it has to be very quick drying. Also, it has to be very non-slippery. Next is a sit out. Now here, when you want to place a carpet, you want it to be waterproof, because there might be rains, there might be heavy wind, all of that. You have to withstand temperatures. You have to be easy. They have to be easily washable. Again, placing a carpet in sit out is not a very ideal option, but in case you want to do it, you need to consider these things. And our last thing is staircase. Placing a carpet on staircase is actually like a bad idea. But if you really want to do it, first thing you need to understand that you have to the carpeting has to be glued and nailed very properly, because you run around, you walk around your staircase, you don't want accidents, you don't want to be injured by any case. So it has to be sturdy, non-skid, glued and nailed really properly. And don't go for a soft or smooth finish for carpets on stairs, because if they have a texture, you will have a better grip of your foot. So that is one thing you need to consider. So this was, I guess, about the purpose of why, how you have to consider each areas and then go for selection of carpets. You just can't go randomly and pick up something and place it somewhere. You might kind of regret it later, because carpet has today become an investment. There are so many options out there. You really need to think. Next we move on to is styling. Now, what is styling? Styling is a is a way in which things are placed. And when we come to carpet styling, there are various options today. Our first styling we will study today is natural styling of carpets. Very much with the word, you understand the meaning, close to nature, existing in nature, or derived from nature. The general meaning of natural styling is that the carpet should not stand out from the interior that is done. It has to very much submerge in the colors and the hues that are used in a single room. So be it your colors, be it your materials, they have to be neutral, natural, warm. Natural materials like wool, sisal, jute, all of these can go for natural styling. You need to feel very calm and serene when you enter a natural styling carpet area. It has to be very camouflaging with the interiors. If you see the images here, the gray, so the sofa is gray, that single chair there is gray, and again the carpet is light gray. So nothing is overpowering in this design. It is just one single room, and you feel it that way. If you see, there are color palettes in the natural styling. I have mentioned few color palettes. So these are all the colors. Our next styling is bold and bright. So when you say bold and bright, it has to be flashy, it has to be really eye-catching. And like you see in this image here, where all colors are used, there's red, there's green, there's yellow, all colors. So yes, that is bold and bright, but not necessary. Bold and bright styling should be in primary colors. They can be in pastel colors also and still be bold and bright. If you see the image next to it, you see that there it is soft, it has these pastel colors, but still it is bright. It is going to be eye catching when you enter that room. And the last image, if you see, so when you say bold and bright, it need not be that you have to use all colors or anything. It can be one single solid color and still be bold and bright. So if you see this blue color that is used in the last image, it is just one solid color, but you notice it quickly because it is bold and it is bright. Next styling we move on to is luxury. When you see these images, you can go back to the slide that where we explained you viscose carpets. Viscose carpets is very much of luxury styling. Wool, nylon, propylene are the best options for luxury carpets. It gives you a very classic and elegant finish. It has this soft and sumptuous environment that it creates. Also, not necessary you have to go in nude colors for luxury, nothing like that. It can be red and it still can be luxury. It can be blue and it still can give you that luxury. So viscose is one of the best examples for luxury styling of carpets. The next type of styling for carpets, this is maximalism. Now, when we say maximum, maximum of what? Maximum of size, color, design, pattern, forms, everything. Today we see a lot of options. In the left hand corner, the picture below, you see a 3D carpet. So that is one of the best examples of maximalism. It is eye catching. It will be the first thing you go in the room, and you have to notice that. That is what maximal is. Okay, so these carpets you might have seen in generally in cruises, where there is huge spaces, vast areas to be covered, and there's going to be a lot of furniture. So what the design trick is that instead of actually working a lot on furniture and every piece of art, you give some maximal design in your carpet, and you automatically have a feel that the space is decorated so well. That is only because of the carpet. So you have might have noticed this in cruises generally, also in hotels or auditoriums, huge spaces. This styling is used there. But contradicting to this is this picture in the center. If you see, the size of the carpet is not that big. The carpet size is really small. But with that animal print and that shape that they have given, it is going to be the first thing you notice in that room. This can be used in kindergartens. Okay, this can be used in cruises. This can be used in lounges, clubs, pubs, where you have a lot of space to be decorated, but you just want to do minimal but maximal. So maximalism is a style that is really used in all these big huge spaces. Next styling, pattern play. Now, you might have seen these carpets a lot. This is basically a selective design, be it floral, strips, curvy, and these designs are repeated in intervals, in specific intervals. They like follow a definite and a disciplined design pattern, and they are used as a decorative piece generally in rooms. These carpets generally you will find in dining halls, where like the dining table is decorated so beautifully with some flowers and all, and you will have a beautiful carpet down there. So these carpets are used there. Applications, if I talk about, they can be in living rooms, family rooms, dining halls, all of that, where aesthetics is of prime importance, not function but aesthetics. Moving on to our next styling for today is geometry. Now, if you see these geometry style carpets, they are very timeless and they always look trendy because of this edginess that they have, these straight lines, these angular patterns that they have. They are very bold. If you talk aesthetically, they are very bold and eye-catching. They have a structure. They are stylish and they have this edgy look. They do not lose their aesthetics at any cost. You can just place it in front of a boring piece of furniture, and you can just place these geometry styling carpets, and done. Your room is just out there. It will look bold and flashy, and it will give you a very nice vibe. Moving on to our next styling, solids. Now, this styling is generally for decorative purposes. They give you a very soft and cozy feel, generally used in pastel colors. And I think due to its thickness, it actually gives you a comfort due to its thickness. So I can just relate, like if you have to read a book, okay, and you don't really want to sit on this chair with that straight back and everything. You want to like relax and read a book. but at the same time you don't want to go and like you don't want to go and sit on your mattress because you might end up just sleeping. You want to be productive yet in your comfort. I think these are going to be the best options for you. They are a little high maintenance because of the thickness. The dirt accumulates in these long yarns, which is why you need to be very careful of how you're going to use it, and you have to roll it up properly after you're done with. You can't just place it and leave it there. This is going to be our last styling, bohemian styling. Now, when you talk about boho style, these are like chic style carpets, a mix of natural and retro. They are not very contemporary, not very traditional. They are like a free spirited styles, you can say. So they do have a common features like these Persian rugs that we see, but I guess in a less traditional way. And they do have a feel of handloom carpets also, but with these intricate and busy patterns, they do give a contemporary look. Unlike handlooms, they do bohemian do have this contemporary look to it, and generally used in neutral tones. So here we're done with styling. Now let's move to a little practical approach to, when you actually consider of buying a carpet, what are the kind of things you need to consider? First is lifestyle. Now, when I say lifestyle, it is everything. It is all the activities that happen at your house. It is all the kind of age group that you have along who are going to be using this carpet. You need to consider that. Second point is colors. Now, you need to understand how these colors work, because colors can be if used properly, they can really look great. But if color combinations are very tricky, so you have to be careful with colors. Next point is materials. Of course, we studied all these materials above. We studied synthetic carpets, we studied tiled carpets. All this you have to consider where and why you have to use it. Next point you have to consider is maintenance. You just can't buy a carpet and leave it there. You need to know these easy tricks to maintain the quality and look of that carpet. Authenticity. This comes when you have to actually go for some kind of, if possible, go for a recognized brand where you get warranty, guarantee, and you know how you're going to, you don't want to just buy a piece and let it go for vain. So you want to buy it from like a certified place at least. And last point is usage. So exactly who is going to use it? Is this carpet going to be used just for decorative purpose, or whether your kids are going to play on it, or whether your old age people at home are going to do some yoga on it? What is it exactly used for? You have to consider that too. Okay, so here I'm going to some small tips and tips for you before buying a carpet, like where you can consider these points. My first point here is patterns in carpet. Now, this goes like a thumb rule that bigger the room, bigger the pattern or the design of carpet, because it all plays with the volume. Like if you have these big patterns and if the room is really small, it might not go with it. You might feel uncomfortable around it. Colors, like we discussed before, colors can be tricky. Bright colors can look great at times, but at the same time you are going to invest once, so be very careful that you have to like it every day. You have to go to that space every day, which is why you have to be careful with colors. Scale of design patterns, just like patterns, scales of these patterns. Smaller the room, smaller the patterns. Bigger the room, bigger the patterns. You need to follow these thumb rules. This is a trick, directing to. So how this carpet is used is directing to different areas. Now consider in an office space, or like standing in a queue. So if you have these carpets placed in the corridors or in these waiting queues, you automatically know that you have to go and stand there, or you have to go to this particular room. So it acts as a guidance to you. Next is wall to wall carpeting. Now what this does is, for especially for old age people, this is a very good option, because they hesitate while walking, so they find it very comforting if whole carpeting is done in a single layer, and they find it very comforting and cozy to walk. Also what this does is it makes the space look much wider than it is. That is what a wall to wall carpet does. Our next point is highlighting space for authorities. The best example for this is red carpet. So you just those stairs are there and this red carpet is placed, you automatically know that your VVIPs or your people of like higher authorities have to walk on it. You need not place any boards or anything. Softscaping. The best example for softscaping can be synthetic carpets. Like if you have to, decorate an area, you want to do some kind of landscaping, you want to do some pebbles, pavers, tiles, you want to do something, but at the same time, you don't have exposure to sunlight, you don't have exposure to good wind and water and everything, but you want to do something. So then synthetic carpets play a great role in this. You might have seen these artificial lawns and everything. So that is a good use of carpets. Next is black and white. Again, black and white is a very bold style. It really looks very contemporary, but at the same time, you need to be sure where you're placing it because that is going to be the first thing you notice. Because the combination of black and white is that strong. And my last point is emphasizing areas. Now, here I can say that if you have to go to an office or if you have to go to maybe a showroom, to be specific, an automobile showroom, nobody needs to tell you where to go and sit because these carpets play that role. They emphasize areas, they emphasize different spaces where you have to sit, where you have to do your waiting process, where is the queue, everything. That is what carpet does. So these are some interesting functions what carpet does. Okay, Gurkirap, can we have you now? I think we can have a conversation with him. You're on.
Yeah, I'm audible.
Yes, you are. So nice to have you here, Gurkirat. Firstly, welcome to the events of Arkihive, and let's move on. So now, what I want to understand from you is, considering I am a customer and I actually want to, come and buy things like buy a carpet. So we will move on stage wise, where everyone will get a perspective from you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes. So my first question that okay, I enter this shop, okay, and there is a wide variety of things, wide variety of options I see, but I don't know what is exactly trending. How do I know what is the new thing in the market? What would you say on this?
So when you
What
generally,
is new?
walk into a retail storeroom with showroom who are selling carpets, so the most
Yes.
trending carpets will either be on display or will be
Okay.
on a or will be arranged in a particular manner where you can see how, for example, if there's a lot kept, these newer trends will be on the higher side, will be kept
Okay.
above everything else. Yeah.
Okay. So now that I mentioned all these types and materials and all, what as per you is in demand today? Like today,
Okay.
what is
So
that one testing?
so Indian market has changed quite a bit in the last 4 to 5 years. So we've moved
Okay.
from, we've moved from your handloom carpets and your lower budget and carpets to hand knotted and hand tufted carpet these days. And there is a huge demand among interior designers and architects for your bohemian style carpets. And bohemian style carpets can be used, even to decorate walls these days in restaurants and in your commercial
Okay.
spaces. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. My next question to you would be, okay, I do select a carpet that you tell me, maybe it is trendy and everything, but I'm not a designer or I'm not an interior designer. Then what is the easy selection process? Like, how will I select carpet, or how would you tell me to select a carpet?
So, as you said in one of your earlier slides, where you discussed how you decide which carpet goes in which room, right? So,
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, of course, as a layman, you will not have that knowledge, but as a retailer, the guy who's selling you, he will be able to impart that knowledge to you. So, your preferences should be when you're using a carpet for a high traffic area, such as your living room and your dining spaces. So, these carpets should be thicker in nature, should have a higher loop pile, and for example, even in your kitchens, when you're using carpets in kitchens, you should prefer to go for something in a handloom material which is easily washable, right? So and those carpets come with an anti-skid backing as well, so you get that
Okay.
option in a lot of handloom carpets. And um, and of course, when you're using a carpet, it totally depends on the space you're using it in. So if you're using something in your bedroom and the way it is placed there, the way you want to define that space, it should not look awkward when you place a carpet there. It should not be there, because carpet, as you said, is an investment. It is not
Correct.
something which are going to change every 3 to 4 years. It's a huge investment, and that is changing slowly in the Indian market. It is building up. So I came across a fantastic stat where India is the largest exporter of hand knotted carpets in the
Okay.
world, right? And
Okay.
India's export market for that is 64,400 crores, according to 2019 stat. So we have a huge scope of using carpets in our households. Yeah.
Okay. Can you guide a little on maintenance of carpets? Like, what are these easy techniques, or how would you elaborate on this?
So carpets generally you vacuum clean them on a daily basis because if you are placing them in a high traffic area like a living and other foyer area and stuff, you have to vacuum them every day. And you do get carpets these days which are washable nowadays, so which you can easily wash at home itself. So you can probably use cold water, which is preferable because warm water and hot water can cause synthetic materials to lose color, right?
Okay.
So you use cold water and use a foam sponge to clean them. And as everybody else, most of your people who buy expensive carpets, so they get it dry cleaned. I would suggest even people who do not buy expensive carpets, even for your regular carpets, get them dry cleaned once a year. It becomes very easy to
Okay.
maintain the carpet and it lasts longer.
Now let's talk a little about testing of carpet. Like, I just go to a shop. How do I know if it is a good quality carpet? What are the easy tests I can do in maybe on the spot, or maybe are there some tests that you can mention?
Yeah, there are a couple of things which you can do. It's a little tricky here. So,
Okay.
you know how a carpet is of good quality when you open it back, when you bend it like this, like when you bend a side of a carpet.
Flexible.
Yeah, when you bend the
Okay.
carpet on the side, and if the carpet backing is seen, the base of the carpet is seen, that means it has a lower loop pile. So that means the carpet
Okay.
is of a lower quality. If you cannot see that much, then your carpet is of good quality. This is one basic test you can do for your hand tufted carpets because hand
Okay.
tufted carpets are the biggest competition for hand knotted.
Okay.
So, and they're of cheaper quality. Cheaper price, yes, but they are obviously of a lower quality because of the materials used in them.
Okay. And what about colors, Gurkirat? Like, there can be like the color fades and all. How do we know that? Is that possible?
That is a little difficult to know because most of your retail outlets will have a fresh stock. So even if
Okay.
so they might have some pieces which are old, but because these showrooms are indoor, you will not know the effect of direct sunlight on them. That that that
Right.
part that part gets a little tricky. But in general, when you buy carpets, none of the carpets usually fade in color until unless they're exposed to direct sunlight.
Sunlight.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. My last concern would be money. Like, how do we decide on, budgets for carpet? Like, consider I want to do something in luxury, or for that matter, if I want to do something in my living room, like a family room. How do I like decide on my budgets?
So budget is very personal, right? Like everyone has a
Okay,
different.
yeah, of course. Can you like tell me a range of it? Like,
Okay,
consider, yeah.
okay. For example, for a living room, carpets these days
Yes.
range from about 6,000 rupees, and
Okay.
if you go in hand knotted, they can range all the way up till say 1,300, 1,400 rupees per square feet.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
there are qualities above these as well. Then that is subject to how much you can pay. But
Mm.
a good quality carpet for a living room, say for about a standard size, which is 5 feet by 7.5 feet, should cost you between 15 to 20,000.
Okay, okay.
And you have to look at
Talking,
it. I'm sorry, you have to look at it
no,
as
no, no, you say.
yeah, you have to look at it as an investment. You are not going to look at it as a one-time buy. You're going to look at it as in you're going to have the carpet for about 8 to 10 years. So you have to look
Right.
at that 20,000 as an investment over a period of 10 years, which is going to cost you just a mere 2,000 rather than spending 4,000, then spending it again the next year, then spending it again the next year. Because the cheaper the
Okay.
quality, the wear and tear will be higher, right? So you might lose out on that fact.
Okay. And one thing strikes me is what can you talk about sizing of carpets? Like my living room size might be very different to that of somebody else and all of that, or my center table would be, of a very different size. So how is that decided? Like if I like a particular carpet, can it be customized to my sizes and what all I want?
So yeah, so there are a couple of nuances which you can keep in mind when you're picking up a size of a carpet.
Okay.
Customization of a carpet is done by by very few companies. So
Okay.
and it also becomes expensive as the
Okay.
sizes. If you're looking, there are certain machine made sizes which you get in the market, right? And then the
Okay.
customization happens on over a period of hand knotted or hand tufted. So that might take a while and it will cost you a little higher. But when you're spacing a carpet, uh, the general market understanding is when you're placing a carpet in the living room, it should cover
Yes.
your furniture should sit on it. Basically, your
Okay.
sofas and your center table should sit on it, right?
Okay. So
And
then
if
there are
that
always these thumb rules that you follow.
Yeah, there are certain thumb rules. So if, for example, you have a client who really wants to buy a carpet but cannot spend for a carpet that much. So then you make sure
Okay.
that the carpet at least has the front legs of the furniture on the carpet.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
similarly follow the same rule for your bedroom as well.
Okay. Okay. Okay, this was interesting. I think Gurkirat, now we can open, like we can have an questions from the audience also. Anusha, can we have few questions?
Yes.
I think we already have questions
We
in our
already
chat.
have a couple of questions in our chat. Okay, like we already covered, right? I think he mentioned how what are the carpet to use in kitchen and waterproof. So we have a question from Apurva. So she wants to know like what are the quick dry carpets and waterproof carpets? Do we have options like that with fabric?
So these days you don't have waterproof, but you do have water resistant carpets, which
Mm-hmm.
are made from your natural materials such as jute and coir. So you do have carpets in those segments where they're easily washable at home. One thing, maintenance is lower and they dry up very fast.
I've actually unmuted audience. So if you guys have questions, you can unmute yourself and the floor is open for questions. And we also had one more question from Rohit, I believe. Yeah. Rohit, you can unmute yourself and yeah, post your question.
Okay, so yeah, so for a vendor like who is a young exporter into a carpet business, right? So what are the testing requirements for someone who is trying to pitch clients in Europe and US? So any particular testing requirements which is needed for European clients or clients based out in US?
Okay, I am not really sure of it, but the basic testing, what I am aware of, is they test the loop pile thickness. One thing, they check how the backing of the carpet is. That is the
Okay.
second point, and they also check for machines. So every carpet, apart from hand knotted, every other carpet involves the usage of machines. So they do check the quality of those machines which you are using. So I mean, this is what at least is my knowledge.
Thank you.
We had another question from Sundaram.
My question is, see, imagine if I have a room of 10 by 12 size, and if I'm going to renovate that into a commercial space, and can I prefer carpet as the whole flooring for that particular area? Because, see, since I'm converting this a kind of a residential into a commercial space, will this foul smell over a period of usage will be there, or those kind of things will be there, or like can we go ahead, I mean, can we go ahead preferring the carpets for the shorter space as a whole flooring material? Is that preferable?
Yeah, definitely, Mr. Sundaraman. Because see, when you are doing something for a commercial space, these are a different type of carpet which you're going to be using. You're going to be using carpet tiles preferably, right? And carpet tiles are easily replaceable. One,
Huh.
and they do, as you said, if you maintain them well enough, you will not have the generation of foul smell over a period of time. And because they're a
Uh,
place where you'll have high traffic, you'll have a lot of people moving in.
yes, yes.
These are very low maintenance. Carpet tiles are very low maintenance, and you can easily replace them. So it
Uh,
definitely is a good option.
Preferable one. Okay. So maintenance in the sense like what kind of maintenance you
Maintenance, as in when you clean them, right? So for example, if you have a coffee spill, for example,
okay.
so you need to make sure that you call the experts in and get the stain removed immediately on an immediate basis. Because I mean, even though the foul smell will not be there, but you will still have the coffee mark, which will be over the tile. But even
Yes.
if you're unable to do that, you can easily replace the tile by getting a replacement. You don't have to buy the whole lot again.
Okay. 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 Thanks.
Gurkeerat, you can
Yes,
give us a
Gurkeerat,
brief of
you can just, guide our audience to your thing, please.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So hi, hello everyone. Good Kirat. Here, so I am a third generation entrepreneur. So we are in the space of soft furnishing for home and office spaces, and we have a store in Jayanagar third block in Bangalore from the last 30 years, and we have a collective experience of about 65 plus years in the industry now, and we deal with everything which deals with soft furnishing from home to office spaces, which includes mattresses, wallpapers, curtains, sofa upholstery material. And these are my contact details. If any of you need anything to talk about, you can just get in touch with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Gurkirat. So it was great having you all here. If there are any more questions, please do reach out to us. And Arkihive will have much more events like these knowledge sessions for you. Stay tuned with us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and soon we are also coming up with our app. So please stay tuned with us. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for being with us.